Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be checking out the Masters of the Universe Origins Sun Man and the Rulers of the Sun 3-pack featuring Pighead, Wicked Enemy of Sunman, Sunman, the greatest hero of them all, and Space Sumo, the telekinetic ninja. Sumo ninja, yeah, whatever. Those are two totally different things. But this 3-pack is actually really awesome. It's very cool getting 3 characters straight from the Rulers of the Sun in one beautiful box set, which I just love the boxes that they've been doing. For these multi-packs and stuff, the artwork, the window, it's just pure vintage goodness, and I absolutely love this. Now, this one I believe was a Target exclusive. I had pre-ordered mine from there, so that's where I got it from. And we have had some of these characters in the line before. Pighead got a single card release, although I think this one's got some differences in the color, like some metallics. And then this version of Sunman has the flat top, which is a variant from the vintage line as well. And Space Sumo is brand new to this particular set. We got beautiful artwork there on the fronts. And just like always, there's some great artwork all the way around on the sides. Like we got cool little creatures and stuff on there. And then as we rotate this around to the backside, we've got some awesome artwork across the top of Sunman and Space Sumo doing battle with Pighead. And then down below that, it just has the action feature callouts for the 3 figures inside. Gorgeous looking presentation here, but I am going to go ahead and open this up so we can take a look at the figures inside. Alright, so before we start looking at the figures themselves, it's worth mentioning that within the packaging behind the figures are these cool little art cards. So they're not mini comics, but they're just art cards, and these are actually on some very heavy card stock there. So featuring some fantastic artwork of Sunman, Pighead, and Space Sumo, including little bios for each of the characters on the back. So that's a really nice little bonus. I like that, and in the packaging it looks great, because it does look like kind of the vintage mini comics behind the figures there, but still a cool way to get some new artwork for these classic characters. All right, so we're going to take a look at each of these guys from the set. We'll go ahead and just look at them one by one, and we will start things off with Pighead here. So this is essentially the same figure that you can get in a single carded wave. So, you know, he's already been out before, but there are some differences here with the standard Pighead that's already out there. So first of all, let me just bring in so I can show you that he does come with the same weapons as before. So we've got this shield that can clip on the wrist, and then also just goes over the open hand there. Bit of a pain to get on, but you guys know the drill at this point. It's kind of what a lot of the shields in this line are like. And then there we go, it clips onto the wrist. And then you got the little spiky ball mace deal thing here, whatever you want to call it. Morningstar mace, that whole thing going on there. But the biggest difference here is the fact that this particular version has a metallic paint deco. So why don't we go ahead and just do a comparison time right out the gate, because I think that's what's important about this pack, is seeing what's different about this guy compared to the version you might have already bought in the standard wave. And the color variance is in some of the paint deco there. So you can see the pink fur on his boots is now metallic. The shield is now a metallic blue and pink. Wrist bracers are metallic pink. And his helmet is a metallic pink and blue. It's almost a little hard to notice that, especially under my lighting. But it is a shimmery paint deco compared to the more flat paint deco seen on the standard release. They almost look completely identical. It's just those differences with the metallics in the paint there. So really your preference is going to come down to if you prefer the shine or not. It's really not that ultra shiny of a paint deco. It's just got a little bit of an extra pearlized effect to it that it looks really, really nice. But again, there's not a whole lot of difference between this version and the version we already got as a single wave figure at retail stores. Still a really nice figure overall. I love the design of Pighead. If you watched my standard video on him already, you know that I adore this character. He looks just like the vintage one essentially, but does have the added bonus of the articulation that is known for the Origins toy line. So he's got all the mixing and matching of parts. You can pop the head off, you can pop the waist off, you can pop the arms off. So if you want to use them for customization, you've got those options as well. So that is going to bring us over here to Sunman, and again, much like Pighead, almost everything with Sunman here is exactly the same as the standard retail release. The biggest difference on this one is you get the brand new flat top head sculpt. This is modeled after one of the variants of Sunman in the vintage toy line, where there was a flat top version of the character, but otherwise, everything else about this guy is the same as the standard release. You can see even the faces are completely different, but that's how the vintage one was as well. And keep that face in mind. We're going to come back to that in just a minute. But with a little bit of comparison time, I want to show him standing alongside the standard retail release of Sunman, just so you can see armor is the same, weapons are the same, still has the crazy wing-like harness thing that goes around his neck, but the biggest difference there is with the head sculpt. And this is now the third unique Sunman figure we've got in the Origins lineup. So that brings us over to Space Sumo, which, as of the release of this particular 3-pack, is the only thing in here that is a completely new figure, a new character. However, he is also getting a single-carded release, exclusive through Mattel Creations. By the time this video is out, that sale would have already happened, so if you prefer to get just the single release, you've got that option as well, or you had that option. I don't know if that one's going to differ a whole lot from this. Eventually, I'll have that figure in a single review, and we can compare the two. Otherwise, very similar to what we've got with the other figures. You can see he utilizes the same boots, the same trunks, the same wrist bracers with the same designs on them as Sunman, just painted in a different deco. We do have a new armor piece there, which is really nice. It even has a sheath for his included weapon on the back, which I really like. Look at that, you can put the sword on his back, and then of course he's got this katana sword that you can also place in his hand. Both of his hands are gripping hands, and he's got this crazy ninja mask here, which is removable. It's like a soft, pliable plastic. It looks a lot like the vintage figure. Seriously, this looks a lot like our vintage Space Sumo. So as you noticed, I removed that mask, and that does reveal a head sculpt that might look a little familiar, and that's because it's the exact same head sculpt for both Space Sumo and Flat Top Sunman. This is a little odd, but it was the exact same way in the vintage Sunman toy line. They were the same head sculpt between those two figures, so this is just Mattel finding ways to share parts, using the excuse that it's the way it was done in the vintage line, so that's why they did it here. I don't know, I kind of feel like they should have gave one of them a unique face instead of just reusing the same mold. I know the argument can be there that they're just trying to make it just like the vintage one, but I don't know, just my personal opinion. But yes, those are the exact same head sculpt there. Otherwise, it is really cool to get Space Sumo. I think it's awesome that we're getting all these vintage Olmec Toys figures brought back to life in this modern Origins toy line. And here's something that I can do. It's comparison time! Because a while back, my good friend Brent let me borrow his vintage Sunman figures for my Sunman retrospective video that I did. So here's the vintage Space Sumo without his mask compared to the new one, so you can see the similarities between the two. So there you go, my friends. That is a look at the brand new Rulers of the Sun 3-pack from the Masters of the Universe Origins toy line. As mentioned, this was a Target exclusive. You might be able to find it still lingering out on store shelves. I had pre-ordered mine, which is how I made sure to secure it. Of course, you never know with those big box pre-orders how those things are going to go. I got lucky. Mine actually showed up. I do really like this 3-pack. I mentioned in the packaging, it's absolutely beautiful. I love, love, love that vintage inspired window box packaging. The figures themselves are nice, though it is a lot of reuse here, and all three of these guys are gonna have single carded versions, so you don't necessarily need this 3-pack unless you're like me and you want every version of all of these characters. Also, it's Rulers of the Sun, and I understand that that's very niche. Maybe you don't need those as part of your particular Masters of the Universe display. Personally, I love them as a collector of vintage 5.5 figures. I think it's awesome that we're getting new versions of these characters. So this is a fun set. It's just a whole lot of reuse. Thank you guys so very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Be sure to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And until next time, my friends.